Masjid al-Nabawi. And all the people in Madina, the Sahaba in Madina and the other people, the protesters, everybody gave bayah to Ali radiallahu anh in the Masjid al-Nabawi. And Ali was proclaimed as Amirul Mu'mineen. So this is how Hazrat Ali, Sayyidina al-Amir, Amirul Mu'mineen Ali became the Khalifa. This is how he became Khalifa. Now before I conclude on Sayyidina Osman's time and talk a little bit about Sayyidina Ali's time is very limited. One of the things that happened in Sayyidina Osman's time, some of the good things that happened was, Sayyidina Osman is the first one to start a Muslim navy, because the Romans were attacking by the ships. So he said, we can't wait on the land for their ship to arrive. We need to put our ships. So the first ships were made in Sayyidina Osman's time. And it is in Sayyidina Osman's time that the island of Cyprus was conquered by the Muslims. Island of Cyprus. And there was one of the Sahaba, one of the ladies of the Sahaba. Her name was Haram. Haram. Now she got a very interesting story. One day Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was laying in the masjid and she came to visit him and greet him. She used to bring him gifts and stuff. She was an old lady. Her husband was a very strong Sahabi also, you know. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sleeping and then he got up and he sat and he smiled. And like he's very happy at something. So Haram said, Ya Rasulullah, what is the good news? Why do you smile? There's something that made you thought of something and made you happy. What is it? He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed me that my ummah will conquer the seas as well. And wallahi, I can see them riding on the boats, proclaiming the kalima. He said, I can see them on the boats saying La ilaha illallah. But Arabs only know the desert, they don't know the water. He said, I can see them on the waters. My ummah will ride the sea. Which is, the Arabs, as I said, don't know the sea. They only ride the sand. So she said, Ya Rasulullah, make dua, I'm one of them also. Make dua, I'm one of them also. That was a big ambition for a woman at that time. I'm also from those who ride the sea. She said, may Allah make you one of them. She said, also make dua that I'm a shaheed in the path of Allah. Again, she had such an ambition, you know. He said, may Allah grant that to you too, Haram. Now, fast forward 30 years, 25 years later to Osman radiallahu anhu's time. So when Haram heard that the first Muslim navy is leaving on the boats, she actually went to join and enlist. She said, perhaps the time has come now for Rasulullah's basharat to take place. So she actually joined the boats and she rowed on the sea. Woman, she was the only woman in that entire crew. No other woman wants to go on the sea and all that. And she went. And when they arrived at Cyprus and they conquered Cyprus, she went off, she landed in Cyprus. And when she walked into Cyprus, she was riding a mule or something. The mule came across a rock or something and he like catapulted. And he jumped or whatever and she flew from the mule and she fell very badly on the ground. She hit a stone and something and she died right there. So she got off the boat into Cyprus and then an accident happened and she died. Shaheed. And they made a mazar for her there. And her mazar is still there in Cyprus. So if by any chance you go to Cyprus, you can go make ziyarah, make a visitation of the grave of that Sahabiya, that female Sahaba radiallahu. And funny thing is, in Cyprus, the Muslims conquered Cyprus, but after many years the Christians conquered Cyprus, reconquered Cyprus, and they kicked the Muslims out. And for many centuries, the Christians used to go pray by her grave. They thought she was a Christian saint. So when the Muslims reconquered Cyprus, they looked for the grave of Haram, and some people told them where it was. They found it's a Christian place. And the Christians said, no, they said it's our grave. When our children are sick, we come and take some sand here and we put it in the water and they are healed. Or we come and make prayers here and there's just barakah. There's a lot of barakah. There's a very blessed person buried here. But the Muslims said, this is Haram. So they said no and yes and no. So they said, open the grave. So when they dug the grave open, they found a plank, a wooden piece of wood inside there, and on it was written in Arabic, "Haza qabru Haram, sahabiyatu Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." This is the grave of Haram, the Sahabi of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they said to the Christians, well, look what came out of the grave. It's in Arabic. It says this is one of our. So the Christians backed off. They said, "Well, can we still come and pray? Come. There's nothing stopping you. But he was, no, she's not a Christian saint, she's a Muslim saint. So even after that, the Christians used to, in fact, I have heard that even till today, some of the Greeks go and pray there by her grave. They make dua to Allah or whatever so it's there in Cyprus. So one of the things Sayyidina Osman did was establish a Muslim navy. Another thing that he did was extend the Masjid al-Nabawi. He made a very large extension of the Masjid al-Nabawi, and he made the mihrab, the front mihrab that we have today, where the Imam leads Salah today, is front. Third thing that Sayyidina Osman radiallahu anh also did in his time was that he added an azan to the Jum'ah. How many azans are given for Jum'ah today? 2. Right? 2 azans. There's one early, and then the second one is right when the Imam goes on the mimbar. In Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's time, there was only one azan given. When the Imam goes on the mimbar. The Muazzin comes, Allahu Akbar, and then the Imam goes on the mimbar and starts the khutbah. Now Sayyidina Osman's time, the Madina had become so big and so large that by the time the people hear the azan and come to the masjid, the khutbah is finished, sometimes the salah is finished. Because Madina is very big and there's no watches and stuff in those days, so people are missing the Jum'ah. They went to Osman and said, you need to solve this problem. How do we know it? So Osman radiallahu anhu's solution was, he said, fine, we will add an extra azan to the Jum'ah. An early one. So when people hear that azan, and that is going to be given from the roof of the Masjid al-Nabawi. When they hear that azan, everybody can start preparing for Jum'ah. They can make ghusl, wash, put on clothes and all that, and come to the masjid. So by the time the second azan is giving, everybody is in the masjid, and the khutbah happens. So he added that azan. Till today, for Jum'ah we have 2 azans. That's coming from the time of Sayyidina Osman. The fourth important thing that happened in his time was a compilation of the Quran. Or not compilation is from Sayyidina Abu Bakr, but standardization of the Quran. Why did he do that? In his time, the Muslim armies also conquered another country, Azerbaijan. When they conquered that country, the Syrian army of Muslims and the Iraqi army of Muslims and other armies, Yemeni army, they all joined together. When the time for Salah came and when they would lead Salah behind each other, lot of fitna and confusion happened. Because sometimes the Iraqi amirs would read surahs that the Syrians never heard of. The Syrians read surah the Iraqis never heard of. Or they read a surah they heard of but in a completely different qira'at than the other one. So people start saying, what surah is this? We never heard of this. So this is not from the Quran. That one said, no, that is. Now why did that happen? It's because Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sahaba, not everybody was Hafizul Quran. Not everybody knew the whole Quran. Some of them knew 20 juz, some knew 15, some knew the last 10, some knew the first 10, some knew the middle 10. Now whenever any Sahabi would get to any town, he would teach them what he knew. Now the problem with that was, when these people learn only that, they have not heard the other surahs. So when they hear it for the first time, they start thinking, where did that come from? Khilaf and fitna happened. Also, the way of recitation of the different Sahaba was not the same. Even Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's time, Hazrat Umar heard one of the Sahaba read Quran, and after the Salah was finished, it was in one of the other small masjids outside of Madina, Umar radiallahu anh hit that man. He said, how dare you distort the book of Allah? So what do you mean? He said, you read the surah all wrong. This is not how the surah is written. The Sahabi said, brother Umar, I learned it from Rasulullah himself. Umar said, I don't believe you. Because I have learned the same surah from Rasulullah, but not the way you read it. They said, then come to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they both went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Umar said, Ya Rasulullah, this Sahabi is distorting the Quran and so on. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, wait, what is the distortion? Read. So he read it his way, then he read it his way. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked at Umar, he said, oh Umar, he is not distorting the Quran. What you read and what he read, both of them are correct. And both of them are ways of reading the Quran. You know, the Quran can be recited according to 10 different qira'at. Okay, like you have Surah Al-Duha, you can say, وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Or you can read it, وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. And believe me, if you're hearing it for the first time, you probably think, what nonsense is this? This is wrong. You know, my whole life I hear it, what duha, how this, what duhe, but that's a qira'ah. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam sometimes used to read like that. Why would he read it like that? By now you would say, no, why was he doing that? Why? And that is his rahmatul lil alameen. Because the Arabs had many different accents of the Arabic language. Accents. You know how the Australian English is different from British English, different from American English, different from South African English, different from India, Pakistan English. Right? Everybody has their own accent. Now Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, out of rahmah for the Arabs, he had many Arabs coming to him from different tribes. So sometimes when people come from one particular tribe to visit him, he reads the surah of the Quran in their accent to accommodate them. So if that tribe comes who reads like he reads it like that to make them feel welcome, because it's Arabic, it's the same word. How you say it doesn't change it, You say, whatever you want to say it. So that's why the qira'ahs are there. But now the problem is when somebody has not heard the other type of qira'ah, they think it's wrong. Osman's time, the fitna became very big. Because now the soldiers are there, they start arguing, you are reading wrong, your Imam is reading wrong, you should get an Imam from our group. They said, no, from our group. So Huzaifa bin al-Yaman was the leader of the army. He wrote to Hazrat Osman. He said, Hazrat Osman, we really need to solve this problem. Please save this ummah before they fight over their book like the Jews and the Christians fought over their book. So Osman radiallahu anh understand the seriousness of the matter. He gathered all his the senior Sahaba in Madina, and he made a group, a committee from Zayd bin Sabit, Ubay bin Ka'ab, and some others. These were the Sahaba who were very good in reading the Quran. He said, I want you to take the original copy of the Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and I want you to rewrite it, but only in the way of Quraysh, only the way Quraysh reads it, and so on. And make a complete copy of the Quran, and I want you to make 6 copies of it. Because also, many people had copies of the Quran that were incomplete. I have a copy of the Quran, it only had 20 juz. There's no 10 juz is missing. Somebody has a copy, it doesn't, because that's what they learned. He said, I want to make complete copies of that. So the complete copy was made. 6 copies were made of that and were sent to Basra, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, to all the provinces. And he told the governors, all the other copies of the Quran, the incomplete copies, are to be collected and confiscated. And this original copy that we have from Madina, only that must be circulated to everybody. So that's what happened. And all the Qurans we have in the Muslim Ummah today are coming from the Quran of Hazrat Osman radiallahu anh. It's called the Mushaf al-Usmani. Today all of us only have that Quran. And then Osman wanted to know, what do I do with the confiscated copy? The governors wrote to him, what do we do with all these copies that we collected now? Half copies. So he asked Ali what to do. Ali said the best thing to do with them is burn them. Because if you throw them in the sea, they get dirty. If you bury them in the earth, they get dirty. If you tear them up, it is disrespectful. So he said burn them because they turn into ashes and they go up in the sky. So they disappear. So the Quran we have compiled properly according to the tarteeb of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is what we have today from Osman radiallahu anh, which was approved by all the Sahaba Ikram. All the Prophet's companions were there and everything was approved according to the copy of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So these are some of the good things that happened in his time. Ali radiallahu anh ruled for 4 years. We do not have enough time to talk about all the things that happened in his time in detail. But all I can say is that, in summary, that Ali radiallahu anh faced opposition from 3 fronts. 3 fronts. The first, and this which led to 3 battles. 3 battles that Ali had with other Muslims. Because those other Muslims are opposed to him. What were the 3 fronts? The first one, the first battle was the Battle of the Camel, in which one army was led by, the rebels were led by Sayyidah Aisha, al-Mu'mineen. The second battle was Siffin, which was led by the governor of Syria, Muawiyah. And the third battle was Nahrawan, which was led by the Khawarij, the extremists. These were the 3 battles that Sayyidina Ali fought. Now, why did this conflict happen? Why this happened? I said that we start with the first battle, which is the army of Sayyidah Aisha. Marwan and company, Marwan immediately fled to Makkah. Remember? After Hazrat Usman was killed, he fled to Makkah. When he went to Makkah, he called the governor of Makkah from Usman, the Umawi, and he gathered many of the Bani Umayyah. They used to live in Makkah, most of them. And he said to them, look, Ali has come to power, and if Ali remains in power, we will forsake all our power. All our power will be finished. Because Ali is not going to allow the Umayyads to have any power. In fact, he's going to take all their monies back, all their lands back, whatever he's going to put it, he's going to bring us back to zero again. So we cannot let Ali rule. Because Ali is going to be very hard on us now. Because now when Ali is in power, he's going to look for Marwan. He said, where is Marwan? Bring him. Where is this one? Where is that one? He's going to catch all these people. So he said, we cannot let Ali rule. They said, but now Marwan, what are we going to do? How are we going to fight Ali? We can't fight Ali. Marwan can't fight Ali. He's nobody in front of Ali. So the idea came to their head is to incite Sayyida Aisha radiallahu anha to establish a separate leadership. They didn't go and tell her that we want you to fight Ali, because she would say no to that. Fight Ali? She said, why must I fight Ali? But what they did was, the trick was to tell her that Madina has accepted Ali as Khalifa, but Makkah will not accept anybody as Khalifa but al-Mu'minin Aisha. We only want to accept you as Khalifa, nobody else. And they went to her and they told her that, and they said, mother, when your children are fighting and are confused and one child kills another child and there is confusion, is it not the job of the mother to come and take leadership of the family? Should not the mother come and help the children? She said, yes. He said, well, you are the mother of the Ummah, Ummul Mu'mineen. There were other wives alive that time also, but they especially went to her. Said, you are the Ummul Mu'mineen, you should come and lead us. And we will not follow anybody but you. We only trust you. So in the initial, she said, no, I don't want to be involved. And then she said, yeah, and they convinced her. And then they prepared a very big army. She said, what do you want me to do? She said, you need to go to Basra and catch the killers of Osman and punish them. The first thing you need to do is punish the killers of Osman. How can they go and murder Osman in the masjid, in his house, while he's reading the Quran, and they cut his fingers off his wife? She said, astaghfirullah, that is something evil. He said, how can you are mother of you can't allow this. So she then gathered an army. In fact, they gathered an army with her,